Hello, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for our live stream for our weekly trading game plan for the week of May 30th through June 3rd, part 2. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Adapt or Die, Make Money in Any Market, we would highly recommend that you view part 1 of our weekly trading game plan, as that provides us with all the market analysis and strategies and market data that we use to pick our stocks to add to our watch list, updates to our watch list for this week. So thank you again for joining us. Please, someone in the chat, please give me a thumbs up if our sound quality, our video quality is looking okay. That would be helpful. So we'll get started. Just a quick reminder that Monday, May 30th is Memorial Day. The U.S. markets are closed, so enjoy your holiday, your time off with your family, etc. So again, markets are closed Monday, Memorial Day, May 30th. So we'll get started. So we'll start with our trade updates for this week. And again, just a quick reminder that we post our trade updates to our Patreons, so you can find the link. These notes for this weekly trading game plan you can find in our Google Docs Drive in the description box below. And again, we post these updates to our trades as we take them, open, close, etc., to our Patreons, and also in the alerts channel in our Discord. So here's some of the trades that we made for this week. So you can see we tried to do another scalp on cold. We do have a long position at a higher price in cold, but we tried to do a quick scalp, and you can see we got stopped out. It kind of rolled over. Lesson learned. It looks like if you look at the price of natural gas, it looks like I was about 1 day premature and a little bit too aggressive with my stop, because after I got stopped out, cold turned back up. So, and natural gas went down below 9, and then now it looks like it may be headed back up. So we're going to continue to try to add scalps to our position in cold. If natural gas spikes back up over 9, we'll try to find the peak, and again, we'll continue to try to scalp natural gas going short using cold. Again, if you want to play the pair to essentially scalp or swing, natural gas is cold to short, KOLD, and boil to long natural gas. So also, I wanted to point out, and we had some discussions in the Discord. You can find this link in the notes to this discussion in the Discord, that both cold and SCO recently did reverse splits. They're pro shares, and I'll jump over to this article just to show you so you can reference it in the future. But pro shares announced a series of ETF share splits. They're both forward splits and reverse splits. So we got in right before the day when it reverse split. It really doesn't matter. Again, you'll see the effects of the reverse splits in this document or in this discussion in the Discord. Essentially, just reduce the share count and increase the price. But I would highly recommend that you look at this article if you hold any of these ProShares ETFs and see what other splits, forward splits, or reverse splits they have scheduled, so you can account appropriately, because you'll see in that discussion in the Discord some of the other effects of reverse splits is they will cancel your stops, your options orders may be affected. They might get canceled or they might get adjusted. So you want to be aware of the splits that are upcoming for these ProShares ETFs. So if you have any further questions about how that works, we can discuss it further in that Discord topic, okay? So again, you can find this reference in the notes, our discussion in the Discord. Another position is we had a long position in SOX, which is the short on semiconductors. We've held this for quite a while, since November. We've kind of been predicting this rollover in the semiconductors, going from shortage to eventual over ordering, oversupply. It did go up, and again, maybe I was a little too aggressive with my stops, but we did get stopped out break even on May 24th. We're going to keep an eye on that and see if SOX does come back down. The pair to short and long semiconductors with these leveraged ETFs is SOXS to short and SOXL to long. So again, you can scalp momentum trade, day trade, etc. semiconductors that way, or swing trade. So again, we're going to be watching semiconductors to see which kind of direction it goes and see if we want to take another position swinging semiconductors. Now, one of the things is we actually made money on this trade just sitting there holding it, even though we broke even. We were selling covered calls against that position while we were holding it. So essentially, we made money on a break-even trade, cost us nothing to do it, and we made money. So again, and this is a great way, again, to recession-proof your portfolio is selling covered calls against your positions. Even if they're down, you can make money. So yeah, so Douglas says, yeah, you went long on SOXL. Yeah, again, there's opportunities, scalp trades, day trades, other swings. We're going to see which way semiconductors is going. It looks like they adjusted the shortage a little bit, and the SOXS, the short, started to go down, the long started to go up. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And then VTI is another one. We tried to take another, add to our position, take another swing, adding to a VTI position. That one got stopped out. Pretty much, we made a little bit. We made 2%, so 17% a month. I'm not complaining. Can't get 17% a month anywhere else. But we did get stopped out of a small position. We still have a much larger position that we're holding, and that has now become very nicely profitable. Another lesson I learned is that position was in Fidelity, and I learned that their stop limit orders in Fidelity do not get triggered if the price gaps below the stop limit price on open. So because that position was in Fidelity, the VTI gap below that stop limit price right at open, and it never triggered that stop. And so that was, again, a lesson learned. So now I've changed that stop to be a stop loss, and I'm using an all or none and a good to cancel. And we're going to see if that works out better. But I wasn't terribly happy with the way Fidelity handled that stop in Webull. It did stop out when VTI gap below on open. So, and again, so those were our trades from last week. Again, we'll continue to update via our Patreon, which will post automatically to our alerts channel. You'll also see our Thinkorswim alerts get triggered automatically in our, there's a channel underneath of the alerts category in our Discord where our Thinkorswim alerts get automatically triggered. So you can see those. And then if we actually take a trade on those, I will update that topic in the Discord. So now let's talk about our watch list updates for this week. And we'll jump over to our Webull watch list. Just a quick reminder, right now for Webull's 4th birthday, they're offering 6 free stocks. So if you're not already using Webull, again, Webull's our favorite trading platform where we execute most of our trades. And right now you can get 6 free stocks with Webull for their 4th birthday. The first 2 are valued up to $300 each, and the 4, after you deposit any amount, $1, whatever, in Webull, you get 4 more free stocks, each valued up to $3,000. So again, if you're not already using Webull, here's your opportunity to get 6 free stocks. I do not know how long this offer will last. They usually offer 2 or more free stocks with Webull. And again, that's our favorite trading platform. So now we'll jump over to our watch list updates for this week. And the first one is we're going to move big, which is big lots, back up from our bullpen into our watch list. They just recently had earnings, and what we'll see is they had a dip on earnings and bounced pretty quickly back up. Another thing to note on big lots is they do have an ex-dividend date on June 9th. So I personally would expect another dip on the 9th due to that ex-dividend date, and that may well be our opportunity to get into big lots. Again, they did have a significant earnings miss, and they were punished briefly for that. Although if you listen to some of our previous game plans, you'll hear a longer term thesis on big lots as a discount store. And one of the other discounters, I think it was Dollar General, reported good earnings. We expect these discount stores to do better than your mid-tier retailers going forward in the recession. So again, this is kind of another recession-proof play. So again, we're going to add big lots back to our watch list, up from our bullpen, and keep an eye on it, particularly going into that ex-dividend date to see if we can catch it on a stable bottom on an irrational dip. I probably could have jumped on it right there, but I wanted to see how long they were going to punish them for their poor earnings. So the next category we're going to talk about in our watch list is essentially scalping and swinging oil. And we've had drip and SCO on our watch list for a little while, but just kind of a general topic. We're going to keep those on our watch list, you'll see. And whichever one presents the best opportunity is the one we may long. Those are both shorts on oil. And again, we're looking for oil if it peaks back up to that 130 area or above. We're going to be looking for a top in oil to short it further. We do have a longer term short on oil using drip already, but we're looking for an additional scalp opportunity. So welcome Tanvir also, and Douglas PC. Thank you again for joining us in our live stream. Oh, you're in DC, huh? Well, that's cool. So how's the weather in DC? Is it cherry blossoms out in DC nowadays? I used to live and work from time to time in DC as well. So sorry to get off track. But again, we're looking to short oil with drip and SCO. You can scalp and swing oil going long using Gush and UCO. So that's the kind of the pairs you could use for swinging or scalping oil. And again, we're particularly looking for a swing scalp using the shorts. But again, if you're day trading, momentum trading, etc., any of those from those pairs may be helpful to you. We're going to take FPD off as it had already run up. We are again continuing to watch coals for opportunities to scalp natural gas above 9. Yeah, cherry blossoms are beautiful in DC. So again, we're looking for continued opportunities to scalp or swing natural gas up above 9 something. I'll have to look back. I think it hit 930, 940 something. So if it gets back up there again and turns down, we're going to try to scalp it again. But again, if you want to day trade, momentum trade, scalp long, oil is the other direction. We're going to take our uranium plays out of our main watch list and move back down to the bullpen because they've run up. I was kind of hoping we'd get a downturn briefly, but that didn't happen. So we'll wait for uranium to swing back down, and then we'll reevaluate moving back up when that occurs. So both LEU and you'll see below UUUU, we're going to move down from our watch list into our bullpen. And Tanvir, we're moving big lots, big symbol BIG, up from our bullpen to our real-time watch list for this week to look for a potential longer term play. So, and again, big lots is they pay a dividend, a quarterly dividend. Their ex-dividend is June 9th. And they also they're optionable. So even if big lots doesn't swing back up in the near term, we could sell covered calls against it to generate revenue, and we can collect their dividend while we wait for them to swing back up. So in part one, and again, I'd highly recommend you watch part one of this week's weekly trading game plan. We talked a lot about trading volatility. You can see the notes in part one. Also, you can see I put a copy of the spreadsheet table that we generated in part one for all the different symbols and their risk-reward profiles in the notes for part one. So you can see the various risk rewards of the various symbols for long-term shorting volatility. We currently have still long-term orders out on that peak or bottom on SVXY, which corresponds to a peak in the VIX. So you can see we're waiting for the VIX to spike up to 33 area like it did in May. And if so, then SVXY would bottom, it would trigger these orders. So, but that's just a good to cancel order sitting out there. Again, we talked about part one. If you want to win, I think all trading volatility is a great opportunity to make money, even in a bear market, and in any kind of market. There's opportunities to make money scalping volatility using those tickers. I'm still considering changing from using SVXY to using SVIX. As you can see, the risk-reward profile looks more attractive from our work in part one. I do want to do some further due diligence on that, but we may switch these orders from being SVXY to being SVIX. So again, I mentioned we're moving our uranium plays down to the bullpen as they'd already run up. So LEU, UUUU, we already had DNN, which is another uranium play in our bullpen. Excuse me a sec. So then in terms of BOO and BTI, BOO is the index fund, the ETF on the S&P 500 index fund, and we were watching and comparing that with BTI. As you can see above, we have a long position, a large long position in BTI. They've both already run up. I don't see any reason to watch them at this point. So we're going to take them off of our watch list and just watch the markets. Yeah, I see your comments. Yeah, I can talk about nuclear power topics at a later date in much more detail about how that became politically correct. I will tell you just very briefly, when I was in probably fourth grade up until late college, I was always going to be a nuclear physicist, and then that became politically incorrect, and I had to change my concentration in physics. So then again, I don't want to bore you all with these stories, maybe some other day, but just an FYI, then I changed to high energy physics, and then that became politically correct. I don't know if you guys remember when they were going to develop the super collider back down in Waxahachie. Well, that was pretty cool. So I was in high energy physics, and then that became politically correct, and all the research money for that dried up. So again, I'll save those other stories for later. But yeah, I think there is an issue with nuclear energy. I think they made a mistake. But again, longer discussion. I try to stay away from politics. So that's our real-time watch list updates for this week. We'll spin through them real quick. Again, we are adding big lots. You can see the bounce on earnings where it dumped and bounced pretty quickly. So that's a positive. Talked about drip, the short out oil. FDP, I'm going to take that one off so you can see how quick and easy it is to maintain Watchlist in Thinkorswim or Webull. You just right click, select delete, or move it to the bullpen if you want to move it to the bullpen. We'll leave Franklin Wireless FKWL. You can see it's a low float, chops around, but it's pretty stable at that bottom. Just looking for a good opportunity there. I really like this JVA. It's a coffee consumer defensive play. It's a little above. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to it because of all the action and volatility in the VTI and in energy, but I do like that one for a long. Talked about cold, which is the short on natural gas. You can see there's the split, caused a big jump up in the price. Again, it really doesn't affect anything. It just reduces the number of shares, increases the price correspondingly. Otherwise, and you can kind of see where we got stopped out when it rolled over. And we'll watch that to see which direction it goes. Same thing with SCO. You see the reverse split. That's the short on oil. There's SVXY. That's the short on volatility. You see it's kind of high right now, and you can see where we have our orders sitting. And then there's another pair we've talked about for some time, good scalp swing trade, momentum trade, which is the short and long on the Chinese tech stocks. And again, these are a nice opportunity to scalp, swing, etc. And you'll see in my midweek pre-market live stream, I show you how I use the screeners in Webull to see what's trending at 4 a.m. To decide, okay, which of these is going to more likely be an opportunity during the day. So you can see that in that midweek pre-market live stream. Again, there's opportunity probably every day to day trade one of these guys because it's the Chinese stocks are either going up or down, depending on what the Chinese government does, what the U.S. government's doing. They're having some tit for tat going on, and that can impact the Chinese stocks, and therefore you could swing them up and down using these two ETFs, yin and yang, without having any direct exposure to the Chinese stocks themselves, which, as you can hear going back from the summer, we're not touching any Chinese stocks directly because of all those political risks. So, and that is very cool. Danvir, that you did a undergrad in high energy particle physics. Yeah, we're going to have to talk one of these days. Like I said, that was the direction of my career for quite some time. So. And then things change. So now we'll look at a bullpen, which if you're new to our BeachBum trading community, the concept of a bullpen is stocks we're not watching real time, but we revisit at the end of the day on a daily basis, look at their setup, see if they're presenting an attractive setup, and if so, then we would move them up to our real-time watch list. So just some updates to our bullpen. Again, we moved big up from our bullpen, and that's an example of how our bullpen works is, we revisit them, and it looked like big on that bounce, looked like it might be attractive, so we're going to move it up. Another one I'm adding to our bullpen, and these, I find these, one of these days I'll do some videos on how I use our queries, our database screeners, etc., to identify these guys, but they pop up in my queries as being potentially attractive, and then I review them and say, okay, is it something I want to add to the watch list, something I want to add to the bullpen, or not? So this is one that popped up. It's the symbol BOSC, and it's BOS, Better Online Solutions. It's a technology communication equipment company out of Israel, and they do robotics and RFID. And it sounded interesting. Their profitability is a little questionable, but it looks like recently it's profitable. So one downside, it's not optionable because it's a foreign stock. The financials, the earnings are a little bit harder to find. But I want to keep an eye on that. It looked attractive. If we look at the chart, and I zoom it out a little bit, you can see it's a low float. So it's choppy. You can see kind of it's sitting above this low point, but that was a pretty long tail there. There's probably another support up here in the $2 range, and it looks pretty stable there. It looks like it's got some profit potential up to 340, 350. So risk reward looks reasonably attractive. So I'm going to keep an eye on it in the bullpen. Also keep an eye on the profitability. See what the news is. I don't know if anybody's interested in a due diligence video on this stock. I might do one just to get a better idea of what the business is, the profitability, etc. But we're going to add BOSC to our bullpen. FCAP we've had in our bullpen for a while. It's a regional bank. Another thing to note is they have ex-dividend on 615. So that may present a dip opportunity. LEU, again, we moved the uranium plays down from our watch list to our bullpen, and we'll keep an eye on them and see if when uranium swings back down again, see if we can get some uranium plays. And then, Douglas mentioned he took a position in SOXL, which is long on semiconductors, and I was looking at that as well. To see what it looks like for a longer term swing. So if we look at SOXL, let's see if I got it in here already. If not, I will add it. So here's how you add something easily is I do a search in the stock screen in Webull. You click on the star. You can see I've already got it in our ETFs watch list. And I just want to add it to the bullpen. So I just click the star in the bullpen. And now SOXL is also in our bullpen watch list. So it looks like SOXL has kind of run up a little bit after having bottomed. So we kind of want to keep an eye on SOXL and SOXS to see which direction semiconductors is going to go. And again, we can take opportunity. But if they've resolved the supply chain issues, and it bottomed again, then maybe a long in semiconductors might be attractive. So we'll see. So those are our updates to our bullpen for this week. I will quickly go through. We talked about BOSC, showed that chart. Cryptocurrencies, again, I've just been kind of watching Bitcoin and Ethereum and watching kind of the decline in cryptocurrencies. I don't know if I would buy these in Webull yet. I heard a note that you don't actually own the actual coins if you buy them in Webull. That was a statement someone made. I need to verify that. And if that's true, because really one of the things that's attracting me to Ethereum is we may be interested in using it to mint some NFTs. Don't know how to do that yet. If anyone knows how to do that and knows if you own the coins in Webull, if you could mint NFTs that way or not. If not, if you know how to do that, please communicate that to us in the Discord. That would be great. And because we eventually may be interested in that. So might take those off just because of that point. So to answer Douglas's question is how does that pivot point calculation, the details, I would have to dig into Webull's help to understand how they're calculating pivot points versus how they're also available in Thinkorswim. I also use the pivot points in Thinkorswim pretty heavily. And I also have an API that I call that updates our prices in our database. And again, the details of those calculations, I would have to do research on them. That's a pretty good topic. That sounds like a good topic for another video is, how to use pivot points, how they're calculated, etc. There is some differences I have seen in the pivot point levels in Webull versus Thinkorswim. So I don't know if it's time frames, it's the nature of their calculation. I typically look at both of them. So if I'm going to move up a stop or set a price target, etc., I look at these support and resistance levels in both Webull and in Thinkorswim, and usually I take the lesser of, so whoever's got the lower support level, I'll go with that. Whoever's got the lower resistance level, again, just the most conservative, I guess, would be the answer. I take the most conservative of the pivot points between the different platforms. So great question, Douglas. I don't have a detailed answer, but I think that warrants further research and potentially a standalone video to discuss. What do you think? So again, we talked about FCAP. Keep that. We'll keep grow. Investments in cryptocurrency and also gold, silver, etc. Then our uranium plays, LEU and UUUU. Still keeping ROQ on there. It bounced pretty nicely, and I kind of missed that bounce. It's approaching this recent high. We'll see if it gets rejected, turns back down, or if it runs away. If it runs away, I'll let it go. If it bounces back down and we can get another touch on here, I would like to get long in ROQ at the right time. So we talked about SOX-L and SOX-S, which are the long and short on semiconductors, and we've got our treasury plays. Just kind of keeping an eye on that. Again, there are day trade opportunities in treasuries using these ETFs. And if you want to know more about that, we can talk about it. I'm looking for a longer term swing, and therefore I'm waiting for the Fed to essentially finish their buying for it to eventually bottom, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And then we talked about yin and yang, the long and short on Chinese stocks. So that's what we've got in our bullpen for right now. ETFs, again, we see the trading volatility SEC strategy in part one. We went into some detail about some ETFs you can use to longer short volatility. You can also see references to longing and shorting the S&P, etc. And then for a shopping list, we also talked in quite a bit of detail in part one about different ways you can recession-proof your portfolio, different things to look for in your shopping list. So again, I would highly recommend applying those strategies to cull your shopping list, and anything that you're adding to your shopping list, make sure that it's inflation and recession-proof. Again, as we talked about in part one, well, another thing to look at these companies is, are they adapting? And we talked about, ways to see if the company that you're looking to invest in is adapting to current market conditions, current economic conditions, etc. So please see that, use that to cull your shopping list, to evaluate things that you're adding to your shopping list. So let me catch up with the chat, see if there's any questions that I can answer at this time. Again, I don't want this to get too long, but Tanvir is asking about PMI data on Tuesday about options. Yeah, through the long weekend. Yeah, well, if you're holding it right now, then you're not going to be able to get out of your options before Tuesday. So, yeah, and that inflation data, etc., it's the potential for some volatility. But yeah, if you're holding your options now, you're pretty much stuck with them until open on Tuesday morning, right? So does anybody else have any further questions? Please, I'll answer anything in the next minute or so. Um, Otherwise, please post them in our Discord. Please, put them in our Discord, in the comments to this video, in our Facebook group. Please visit our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, Bum Without the U, and join our Discord. And you can find the links to all of those in the description box below. And please let us know how we can add value. How can we help you be more successful, maximally successful in your trading? How can we help you adapt to current market conditions? If there's any due diligence you would like to see on various companies, symbols, etc., again, you can put it in the comments, put it in our Discord, etc. Other videos you'd like to see, we have a suggestion box in our Discord. You can add all of that, requests for various videos, due diligence, etc. So please add that in the discussion box or in the suggestion box in our Discord as well. Yep. Thank you, Douglas. I'll take a look at that again. So again, the notes to of this video and all of our trading game plans are in a folder in our Google Drive, and the link to that folder is included in the description box below. So you can find this this notes document as well as that for part 1 and several of our previous BeachBum trading weekly game plans. So again, we hope this all helps. Please let us know what you think. We hope you like it. And I will let you all go. And have a great Memorial Day holiday weekend. Enjoy your time out of the markets with your family. Enjoy the weather. So, and we will see you all back on Tuesday. So again, have a great weekend. Have a great trading week. And we will talk to you later. Bye.